Hello.
Welcome to the CrookedSoup
Podcast. This is the first episode.
Yeah.
We're waiting for 20 seconds so that we can say the F word.
Heck yeah. I'm Jacob.
And I'm Joe. And we're brothers.
Yeah. Man,
We decided to make a friggin' podcast.
we're not good at this yet.
This is the first fucking episode, man.
God? Okay.
Yeah. It's been a while. It's been a minute.
Cool. We're gonna play Mario Kart while we talk. So.
But there's no noise or gameplay from it because, of course, we don't own the rights or anything.
Yeah, we don't want to get sued by Nintendo.
We are poor as fudge, so
Yes.
obviously we would not be able to combat that.
Yeah, there's nothing we could do there.
What were we going to talk about?
We were gonna.
Oh yeah, today we're going to take some fan questions and answer them. So here's the first caller. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
All the questions have been answered.
Yeah, now we're gonna just for like a preliminary topic to get things going, to show you guys the vibe, we're gonna talk about our favorite movies and why they are our favorite movies.
Why we enjoy them so much.
You want to go first, Jacob?
I'm not sure. Well, okay. My favorite movie is The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
But now that I've been put on the spot, I cannot, for the life of me, think why I like the movie so much. Morgan Freeman, I suppose. Great actor. Great actor.
Heck yeah, brother.
I forget if, like, The Shawshank Redemption is, like, a Stephen King thing, or if it's something else.
Yeah, it's one of his non-horror books that he wrote.
Right. Neato. I started to get back into Stephen King. I'm reading the Green Mile right now.
How's that?
It is real dark.
Yeah, that's what I figure. He's a pretty fucked up individual.
Makes great books though. So I guess if you want to make great books, it'd be a little fucked up.
Yeah. Mother of God. In third place, not fourth place. Fucking shit. Okay, well, yeah, there you go. That's his favorite Mother of God. His favorite Mother of God. Hallelujah, Jesus Christ. I'm a Christian.
Woohoo!
I'm not, actually. We're both agnostic. We can talk about that in a different episode.
Yeah.
But
Marvelous.
my favorite movie used to be, I'll start with the history of it. My favorite movie used to be Zombieland because I absolutely love zombies. I love the thought of them. I love the thought of the apocalypse. Like, not obviously I don't want the apocalypse to happen. I like society and their like technological pleasures that I would be very sad to lose. But just like the thought of being, the thought of being on my own and having a gun or like a weapon and just being able to do whatever I want, and not have to, like to be alone and have the isolation. In theory, it is a good thought. It is a very nice thought because it's just like, I don't have to deal with people's shit. But then I remember how much I love humans. Like I am an introvert through and through. You could ask Jacob, but you can't talk because you're a phone. He would agree. He is an introvert himself. I am an introvert, but I need human interaction at least once a day. And if I did not have that, if I was in the zombie apocalypse, I would not survive. But as a child, I loved Zombieland. I thought first of all, it's hilarious. It's a great movie. I watched it recently, and the comedy still holds up. It was written in 2000 or like released in 2009, and the comedy is still solid. And the gore effects are just fine. You know, we don't get to see any guts, which is, you know, which kind of sucks. But like, there's headshots, heads exploding, you know, a zombie getting crushed by a piano. It's a great freaking movie, and the cast really seems like they enjoyed making it, and they have such awesome like on-screen chemistry, you know, and they really at the end they really form this beautiful family picture, you know, like Tallahassee's the weird uncle / dad, Wichita is the daughter, and then I guess Little Rock's the little sister, and what is his fucking name?
Columbus?
Columbus, yes. I was going to say Cleveland. Columbus is the boyfriend that the dad, for some reason, likes. I don't know. It's a weird analogy. But, like, it's a really good movie, you know? That's all. That's a whole preamble to what I want to talk about. Yeah. My favorite movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say that you're singing all the praises of Zombieland, and that's not your favorite movie.
It's in my top 10. It's in my top 5. It is one of my favorite movies. Movie. Yeah, and then
I'm curious.
And then I got into the Marvel Universe.
Oh.
And I was like, you know who's really fucking cool? Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
Spider-Man is my favorite hero. I know, super original. He is my favorite hero, and later I discovered Miles Morales and realized Miles Morales is my favorite version of Spider-Man. I love him. I love his. This is going to sound weird, but like I love his culture, and I love that he's not just like Peter Parker. He's very different from Peter, and he's very emotional, and he has electric powers, and he can go invisible. And my favorite movie is his somewhat on-screen debut, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I love the story. It's a classic, you know, I can't discover my powers, or I know that they're there, but I can't reach them. That's basically what the story is, and it's been done time and time again, but it's classic, and the formula still holds up, you know. And it's animated, which I love animation.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. The soundtrack is badass. Like the set pieces, and like it's like you're watching an anime, but it was made, I believe, by like Sony Studios.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, and it has this really comic book style to it. Like it's like drawn like a comic book, and everything's kind of like stop motion-y in the way that they move. And
cool. Fun fact about that: I watched a video.
Are you going to talk about Miles, his frame rate?
Yeah,
I was going to talk about that
from Matt Pat.
Yeah,
he was talking about that.
Yeah,
it was like, what was it? Everybody else's frame rate is I just went straight to fourth place.
No, yeah, but
they were talking about everybody else's frame rate is like a smooth 30 or something.
It's okay. Can I say it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know more about it than I do.
No, yeah, that's what I was going to talk about. That's another reason that I love this fucking movie, is because even the frame rate shows how awesome and shows Miles's growth, because at the beginning, through all of the movie, Miles sits at a cool 12 frames per second, and every other character is at 24. Every other superhero, mind you, is at 24 frames per second, double his fucking speed. And then once he's like, "What's up, Danger?" and he has his freaking suit, and he's like confident, and he can use his Venom shock, and he can go invisible as much as he wants, and he's friends with Genji. He's friends with the Asian guy now. Once all of that happens, he is at 24 frames per second. So it even shows in just the frame rate his growth as a hero. It's so amazing. I recommend it. It's on. What is it on? It's on something. Find it and watch it. I bought it. It is an amazing movie. It is my favorite movie of all time. I've watched it twice in a row before because I love it. I will not get bored of it. It features Jake Johnson, who I love. New Girl. I don't know the actor who plays Miles. I love the character. I'm not big into actors. There's like three that I really know and follow. But like
John Mulaney's in the movie.
John Mulaney's in the movie. He plays the pig, spider pig, yeah. And it's a hilarious movie. Like obviously, it's very goofy, but there are moments, there are moments that are like, oh my God, this is so goofy and childish. But then then the writing brings you back into it because, you have this super goofy moment, and then 2 seconds later you're like, damn, God, that sucks. This is an awesome classic tragic hero movie. It's tight, it's fast, the pacing is good, it's awesome. I recommend listening to it either with surround sound. I know that's a thing, it's kind of expensive. I don't personally have it, or really good headphones, which is what I have. I have the Sony 1000XM4s, not sponsored, and they're amazing. You should watch the movie on high volume, don't hurt your ears, with really good headphones, because I can't recommend it enough. It's my favorite movie of all time, and it will probably be my favorite movie until the second one comes out, and then that one might surpass the first one. Because that one's about the multiverse, which I think is super cool.
Yeah. I wish I was as passionate about my favorite movie as you are about yours.
I've thought a lot about it.
I have not. I watched it twice, and I was like, oh, well, I guess I like this movie more than any other at this point.
Hey, I mean, it's a good movie. It's a good choice. It's not a legendary movie, but like a iconic classic movie.
Yeah. I don't get passionate about movies. I don't watch movies, not that often.
Right. Yeah,
I watch anime and YouTube videos.
Come here, you fucking baby.
Basically it. I spend a lot of my time just reading, honestly.
Okay, so
yeah.
Since movies are the medium in which I like to take in art the most, books seems to be your medium. So speak on that. What is your favorite book and why?
My favorite book is the...
Here we go. We're about to get an essay.
My favorite book is the last book in the Aragon series, okay. Inheritance. Yeah, that's my favorite book. It's the culmination of the whole journey of Aragon, and him finally becoming himself. In the series, there's a thing called a true name, it's the name of yourself. Mm-hmm. And in the ancient language, that's the language in the book, that this is the magic language, this is the name of everything. Everything has a magic language. You say the name of a bird, and tell the bird that you are a friend, and the bird will be friendly to you. But in Inheritance, he goes off on his own with his dragon, with Saphira. Mm-hmm. And there's a big plot point here that, if you're going to read the book, I won't spoil. But they go off on their own. I'm focusing on the game and focusing on trying to talk. They go off, they find this island that they were led to by a different character. Mm. And while they're there trying to figure out how to open this vault of something. That's a spoiler. They're trying to open a vault. The only way you can open the vault is if you give them your name.
Right.
And they give their name to the vault. But the vault doesn't open, and they realize they need to give it their true name. The name of their self. If you can find the name of yourself in the ancient language, then you know everything about yourself. You know all your flaws, your imperfections, everything that makes you you. Mm-hmm. And you find a way to say that in the ancient language. And that's just the culmination of your whole being. And it's a very powerful moment in the book. Because he's just a farm boy that became a dragon rider.
Right.
And that's a part of who he is. And all the pain that he's had to go through, the battles that he's won is everything that he is. And in order to open up the Vault of Souls is what it's called.
Mm-hmm. Fuck.
He needs to figure out who he is and why he's doing what he's doing. And that's bleh. The Inheritance Cycle is one of those book series that's you have to read at
Motherfucker.
like a turning point in your life. Luckily, I read it in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and it changed like a whole bunch of my viewpoints about like life and death and like religion and all that, because it deals with those themes in a way that you're still in a fantasy world, and there's still battles and cool things and dragons and all that, but it's like
it deals with those things in like a light way.
In a sort of light way. It's like mostly light. Like my favorite part in Inheritance, other than the Vault of Souls thing,
Right.
is at the beginning of the book, Aragon's cousin Roran.
I'm in 6th place, motherfucker. Why would you hit me with the blue shell?
Roran and Aragon need to storm this place called Hellgrind,
Right.
which is like home to these like beetle-like monsters called the Razak.
Mm-hmm.
And they're basically, if a human is, if the human is part of the food chain, the Razak is the predator to a human.
Ah.
Yeah. The Razak have stolen Roran's like wife, his beloved. They're not actually married yet.
Oh gosh.
And they need to go and save her. And then Aragon scopes the place out with his mind and all that stuff, and they figure out where she is and all that stuff, and they have to camp for the night because they're going to storm it in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
But the best part of it is they're having a conversation. They're doing all like, you know, the manly stuff. Oh, look at the scars I have. Remember the battles I've been in and all that. And it gets to a conversation where they're talking about how Aragon is a rider. How he's a dragon rider.
Right.
And it gets to the point where Aragon admits that he's effectively immortal. That he can't die because of his bond with the dragons and his bond with the ancient language.
That's pretty freaking cool.
And his cousin thinks he's joking at first. He's like, oh God, you're serious.
Oh my God, is there sadness that comes with that?
Yeah, he's like, how can you not die? Death is a part of who we are.
Right.
It shapes us. It drives us crazy. It's what we are. It's what
you come to
motivates us
respect.
to keep going.
Yeah.
And to accomplish what we want. And it's just bewildering to him that his cousin, effectively his brother at this point, they've grown up together, will never die.
Right.
But he could die from like mortal wounds, poison, that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as that never happens, he will endure. That's what he says. That's how he says it. He and his dragon Severo will endure. They will continue.
That's insane.
Yeah. And that's the best part of the book. That's not in Inheritance, now that I think about it. That's in the third one, Brazinger.
That's a weird twist of existentialism.
Yeah. Well, like that wasn't like the first time I ever thought about immortality, but it was the first time I really
Took it into, like, really, really thought about it.
really thought about it, took it into consideration.
Yeah. Gross.
And it's like something that it wasn't his choice.
Mm-hmm.
it was something he was thrust into. It was just like his fate that he was going to be a dragon rider, and that he was gonna end up being immortal.
Well, does he even have any immortal companions that can stay with him? I mean, other than just his dragon?
Technically, the elves are... They're not immortal, but their lifespan is...
Insane.
like many times longer than a regular human.
Right. Okay. Well, I mean, as long as he won't be alone, because...
He'll never be alone because he's got Saphira.
Right. Yeah, and she can talk, can't she?
Yeah.
Okay, so he'll always have someone to talk to.
Always have someone to talk to, and like there's nothing like the bond between a rider and their dragon.
What would you say that bond is like? Is it? It's not like a dog and their master, is it?
No, it's like... It's almost akin to... like a marriage. Or the most romanticized version of a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
The bond between the rider and the dragon, they will always know each other's thoughts, what they're feeling,
mm-hmm.
what's going on, and through their bond, their emotions will affect each other and all that stuff. But it's a deep connection with another sentient being,
right,
on a fundamental level.
Mm-hmm.
And the more you're connected to a dragon, the more the like natural magics that a dragon has will affect the rider, and that's one of the reasons that they're immortal.
I really have to read these books.
Yeah, it's such a fantastic series, and he he wrote it when he was 16.
Holy cow! All of them?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he wrote the first one when he was 16, and then, however much time it took him to write the other ones.
That's insane.
But yeah, he started when he was 16, and he made this incredible story that I still think about sometimes.
Well, me personally, when a character deals with something like that, I like to read through their sadness and know what they're thinking. So when he gets to that realization, do we get a good look inside his brain to find and do we see, does he feel any sort of existentialism, or is it completely right off the bat acceptance?
It's not right off the bat acceptance, but it's a pretty quick acceptance because he's got a dragon, he's got a lifelong companion that will always be there.
Right, so he has a good reason to accept it quickly.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's also like he doesn't have the time to really think about it.
Right, yeah, because he's doing all this shit.
He's doing all this shit. He's trying to save his country or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, I'm slowly working my way through the first one. I'm always doing crap because I have school and I have work and I have payments and shit like that. So I usually don't have a lot of time to sit down and read a book, because you read for fun and I read for fun too, but it's also also slightly mentally draining for me. You know what I mean? Because it's keeping my brain in one place for a long time, and
yeah.
and that makes my ADHD act up insane.
I get you.
But I'll continue flipping through it.
Yeah,
Sounds awesome.
It's a great series. It's a little tough to get through the first book, I will admit.
Mm-hmm. Does he find his own in the second, his form?
In the second, it's he's finally able to put in the actual effort to figure out who he is and what he wants to do.
Right.
Well, I mean, he doesn't have a choice what he wants to do at this point.
Mm.
He's the last dragon rider. He needs to defeat Galbatorix eventually, but he has to train because he's weak, and Galbatorix has more than 100 years under his belt
Right.
to to take over everything.
So, how do you say it?
Galbatorix.
Galbatorix seems at the beginning like an immovable object.
Yeah.
You would say?
Yes. And he kind of persists in the final fight at the end of the game. You really get the scope of his power.
You said
and
into
what
the
he
game.
Game. Oops. The end of the series.
Right.
You really get the scope of his power, and you see why nobody could defeat him.
Mm-hmm.
I hit my own banana.
As I said, movies are my medium, at which I take in art and everything like that. So, what on-screen villain would you most compare Galgatorix to? So that I can get some semblance of his character before I actually get to him.
That is an interesting question. Let me see.
Because when you said that he was an immovable object, I immediately thought of Thanos. While you're thinking, I think maybe you can answer this question.
Oh.
And is he anything like Thanos?
Yeah, he's a mad tyrant, so there's that.
Oh, and Thanos is the Mad Titan, so it works.
Yeah. He's okay. If I explain what I know of Galbatorix's backstory, maybe you can fit a on-screen character better, because I don't know that many villains.
Right.
So Galbatorix is a dragon rider.
Okay.
He was one of the dragon riders that was there during the height of the riders.
Mm-hmm.
But at one point, as I think he was traveling back to the city where the dragon riders resided, and he was attacked by these, I hesitate to call them monsters, but they're called Urgles. Yeah,
that's what I was going to say, Urgles. I know about them.
Yeah. He's attacked by Urgles, and his dragon dies.
Okay.
And as I've said, the bond, the connection between a dragon and a rider is so, like, personal. Personal, powerful. If one of them dies,
it feels like you've died too.
Yeah, it feels like you've died too. You're connected with their mind. This is a being that you've shared your thoughts and feelings, that knows who you are as much as you know them.
Right.
And it said in the books that when the dragon dies, the rider will persist.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a horrible feeling. But if it's the other way around, if the rider dies, the dragon will just die eventually.
Mm-hmm.
From whether it's grief or weakness or something like that, but it will happen. A dragon cannot live without its rider.
Lakitu, motherfucker.
At least as far as I know.
Right.
Anyway, his dragon dies. I don't know the name of the dragon, which is unfortunate, because I love Galbatorix. He's a great villain. And he gets it into his head that if he goes back to the city of the riders, then they could give him another dragon to fill the void.
Mm-hmm.
But he's such a haunted, mad man as he's wandering through the wilderness that if anything approaches him, it just runs away because he's so. Oops.
Sorry, guys. It's an alarm.
It should not be going off.
Anyways.
That nothing will approach him in the wilderness because of how distraught he is. And all that. He gets back to the city of the riders and he demands another dragon, and they see his madness for what it is, and they refuse him the dragon, and that makes him angry.
Right.
He gets angry. He manages to steal a dragon hatchling.
Is it Aragon's?
No. Aragon's not born yet. This is like 100 years in the past.
Right.
He steals a black dragon.
Black dragon.
Yeah. And its name is Shrukan.
Shrukan.
He bonds with the dragon, and through like dark, evil magics, he accelerates its growth, and it hurts its mind and all that stuff. And he becomes another dragon rider, but he's insane.
Right.
And through that, he gets followers. They're called the Forsworn. And there's 13 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they follow him, and he, together with his Forsworn, kill all the other dragon riders. Kill the elders, and eventually it gets to the point where Galbatorix fights the leader of the dragon riders.
Okay.
His name is Vrail, I'm pretty sure.
Vrail.
And they have a fight. Vrail wins, but at the last second, he hesitates. And the book says Galbatorix kicks him in between the crook of his legs. So he kicks him in the balls and then kills him.
Dang.
So, yeah.
God, that sucks.
Yeah.
That is a wimpy way to go out.
I know, right?
Like, no, that's a wimpy way to like take someone out. Galbatorix.
That is a wimpy way to take somebody out.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. And that happens after he kills the leader of the riders. He becomes the most powerful being in the country or in the world or whatever, because we don't know how the scope of this world at this point. And he takes over the country, and he has been the leader, the mad tyrant of the country ever since. So hundreds of years. And in that time, he's on an endless quest of knowledge. So he could find out everything he can about the ancient language, so nobody can beat him. And nobody can kill him. And he's looking for the most elusive bit of knowledge, which is the name of the ancient language. Like how English or French is the name of those languages, right?
Yeah.
The name of the ancient language, because if you know the name, then you effectively control everything.
Wow.
Yeah. And that's basically his character.
Well, that sure was a lot.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what fucking character he's like.
Yeah, see...
He's very original.
He is very original. The closest thing I can think of, except for like the pursuit of knowledge part, just like an insane guy that will do anything to get what he wants, the Joker.
Yeah, I originally was kind of going towards that. I hit the sign with my banana as I threw it. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, but then they're so different.
They are. They're incredibly different. That's why I didn't go for that originally. I don't know what it could be.
Yeah, so I think he's a mix of different characters. I
just got smacked by the blue turtle shell as it flew past me.
Yeah, that can happen, man. It's pretty crazy.
I've never seen that happen before. I keep running into bananas.
So
this is bananas. What the?
I am very excited to get to his section to find out more about him. I hope that it gives at least like a full chapter for just his backstory and character and everything, because I like learning about villains. I like the lore of certain things, you know, like certain fantasy worlds and like horror worlds and crap like that.
Me too.
So yeah, there we go. We began by taking your questions. That was kind of a bust. And then we talked about our favorite movies. That was about half a bust, unfortunately. And then we talked about Jacob's favorite. Oh, yeah, my name's Joe, and his name's Jacob.
Yeah, we said that at the beginning.
Okay, yeah. It's the first episode, guys. Just cut us some slack. Yeah, we talked about his favorite book and my favorite movie, two things we were both very passionate about. If you like this podcast, leave a comment, like it.
Leave a like, leave all your hate down in the comments below.
Yeah, if there's
and
a
we
way
will
of
respond accordingly.
Yeah, we'll block you.
Yeah.
You'll
die.
Yeah, even if you leave a positive comment, we'll block you because we don't want any comments. Just kidding. Comment, please. And we will.
If you give us a positive comment, we'll leave you the Crooked Soup stamp of approval.
We will
heart your comment in the comments,
and then we'll ask you, do you want some soup?
Yes.
And then that'll be it. And next episode, I figure we could talk about horror movies or why we picked the name Crooked Soup. Next episode, I think, guys, is going to be a longer episode. This one's about 37 minutes.
It'll be shorter once I edit it down, but yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of silence because it's the first one. We'll get more comfortable, and if you liked it, let us know by liking or commenting, and we will.
If you disliked it, don't press the dislike button because it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So.
And besides, there's no reason for you to dislike it.
Right, because we're amazing. Bye.
Bye.